Good morning, Year 6. This is Tuesday's English lesson. And today, after you magpied yesterday, let me just give you a reminder. You should have in your book a word bank and a list of sentences where you have stretched those words and phrases. We are drafting today. So from yesterday's sentences, we are going to draft our setting description. Just to remind you, it is of the streets after the air raid. So after Olive has been knocked to the ground by the impact, she is going to look around her and see what has been left of the street that she not so long ago walked down to get to the picture house. To help us draft today, your little warm-up exercise is we need to make sure we describe each of the senses. So I would like you to have a go in your books at writing a sentence to describe what Olive would see. Write a sentence about what she can hear. There are probably going to be sirens blaring. That means being played very loudly. She is probably going to hear cries of children who are maybe confused from the air raid shelter or people who are hurt. She may hear aeroplanes overhead still, meaning the threat hasn't fully gone. In terms of sight, she might see rubble, so rubble surrounded me, and ash filling the air, just some ideas for you. She might feel, I feel after she's hit her head would probably be throbbing. She might also feel some emotions, so a wave of emotions washed over me. In terms of smell, she might smell burning rubber from cars nearby. She might smell gunpowder and smoke, just some ideas. And in terms of taste, she might taste a metallic bitterness in her mouth, which I would infer as a reader would probably be blood. She might have bitten her cheek or her tongue as she fell, and it's going to be really unpleasant when she's got all of these senses going around, so she can hear things that maybe are threatening, she can see things that show her that her street has been destroyed. She feels not very well, her head is throbbing, and she can smell all of these horrible smells. So really think about how you're going to make it clear to your reader that Olive is in a really, really tough situation at this point. Once you have done that warm-up, that will help you with your drafting today. This is just to remind you what we used to magpie from yesterday. These images hopefully will help give you some vocabulary as well as yesterday's work. And then once you have done your warm-up, you can start your draft. So remember that we are starting when the warning comes on screen. So on screen comes the warning that there is an air raid. Then the people are jostling out of the cinema. Okay, so my model for today is the siren blared. People rushed and jostled strangers, each desperate to get their family into the shelter. In your books, have a go at drafting your setting description of the air raid today. So remember, just to recap, starting off when the warning goes off on the cinema screen. Secondly, people are rushing out of the cinema and into the foyer and then out onto the street. Then thirdly, losing sight of Suki. And fourth, you are describing what the street now looks like after the air raid has taken place.